If you're an aspiring trader who wants to scale your Forex trading capital and actually pull in tens of thousands of dollars every single month online from trading, then pay close attention. My name is Sal Sanchez and I was able to do exactly this. Okay, I went from 0 to 500k funding in my first year of trading, and I've taught hundreds of people how to do the exact same thing as well, get payouts, get funded, and completely transform their life using a very simple framework that I like to call my Asia range funding formula. And if you stick with me to the very end, I will reveal the one change I made in my strategy and my psychology that separates the people who succeed in trading from the ones who don't. This will be a very simple, very straight to the point video. So let me share my screen and jump straight into this. So jumping straight into this is how you can become 500k funded and make over 10k a month very, very easily, to be honest, through Forex trading in under 1 year. And I was able to do this when I was in my first year of university. I've got students who've done the exact same thing, such as Clev, such as Kays, and you can also do the same if you just literally listen to what I'll be telling you in this video. Now, in case you're wondering who I am and you've never seen me before, my name is Sal. I've been trading for the last 3 years, actually profitably, but I've been trading in total realistically for the last 5 years, but 2 of those years was just signals, was just wasting my time. And it was only when I actually locked in with trading that I was able to go from 0 to 500k in 1 year, because I actually learned a strategy called the Asia range funding formula, which I'll be explaining in this video, that quite literally changed my life, right? And as you can see right here, this is me in Thailand when I first moved out to Thailand at 20 years old. So about 1.5 years ago is when I came to Thailand. And since moving out to Thailand, I've got to say my life has just totally changed. I've never left Thailand and I've been here ever since, just trading full time. And it has been the best experience of my entire life. Quite literally moving to Thailand changed my life, changed my perspective of life, changed my future. And it's all started because I learned how to trade a few years ago in university. And you can see right here from point number 2, since doing that, I have been traveling around the world at just 20 years old and quite literally living my dream life, right? And you can also see here, it says I started trading it was really more like 5 years ago. But like I said, a lot of that was just signals and rubbish. And I do not recommend doing signals because it's all a scam and you're not going to make any actual consistent money from it. You can see as well from point number 4 that I went from losing literally thousands of dollars from signals to now making over 30k a month through trading. And it's because I learned how to trade. Okay, and I can't stress the importance of this enough. Learning how to trade is so important. Signals is why I lost money, and it's why it took me such a long time to actually find profitability. But if you can just learn a strategy from the beginning, like I was actually able to do eventually, once I had the right education, then you can go from 0 to 500k funding in 1 year with no problems at all. But the reason why people think trading is so difficult is because they have the wrong education and they don't know what to do, okay? So in this video, I'll be telling you a few things, right? What we'll cover in this video is going to be how I became consistently profitable, okay? Who I've helped do the same, because I've helped multiple people do the exact same thing as me, quit their job, move abroad, okay? And literally change their life through funded payouts and through becoming a consistently profitable trader. And I'll show you how to get unstuck and actually start making money, okay? My entire process to go from 0 to 6-figure funded and the exact blueprint that will get you there, and my full coaching program breakdown at the end of the video if you are interested in getting mentorship from me, okay? Now, who is this video actually for? This video is for new and also advanced traders who aren't consistently profitable. The reason why I say new and also advanced is because no matter your situation right now, you're not profitable. It doesn't matter if you're a new or you're an advanced trader, you're not where you want to be. And therefore you should watch this entire video so that you can eventually become the person and the trader who is capable of making multiple thousands of dollars every day or every month from his phone, okay? So no matter your situation, if you're a beginner or if you've been trading for the last few years, this video is for you, right? And it's also for people who are ready to actually put the time in and learn a skill that will quite literally change your life, right? Trading is hands down the best skill in the world, okay? There is no other skill where you can be anywhere in the world and all you need to do to make money is have only you and your laptop, okay? There's no other team involved. There's no salespeople. There's no managing of the team. There's no stock in a warehouse. there's nothing other than yourself and a laptop or your phone. And it is the best skill in the world, hands down, because you can make money anywhere in the world. And that's why I choose to live in Thailand, or I'm going to Bali actually in a week to be with my friends in Bali for a bit. And you can do it anywhere in the world, okay? There's nothing like this. And if you're looking to get this sort of skill, this video is for you, okay? It's for people as well who are studying or working a job. I was in your situation about 2.5 years ago. Like I said, I was at university, actually more like 3 years ago now, okay? When I was 19 years old, studying to become an accountant. I was working a job as well that I absolutely hated as a waiter in a restaurant, which I despised every single day while learning how to become an accountant at university. And I realized this is not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And that's why I learned how to trade. So if this is you, that video, or this video, sorry, is also for you, okay? It's for people who follow guidance, even if they don't understand it at first, because trading will not be easy. And if you think that you can become a trader by just watching the bare minimum and doing the bare minimum without actually taking it seriously, then yeah, this video is not for you, and you should probably click off the video because you're not gonna make it in trading, okay? You need to actually put the time and the effort in and have the belief in yourself that you are gonna actually see success in the long run, right? This is not gonna be a video telling you how to get rich quick. Like I said from the very title of the video, I said under a year, okay? A year is a long time. I'm not saying in a month, I'm not saying in 2 months. I'm saying a year is how long this can realistically take you to see success if you actually do everything that I'll tell you how to do, okay? And finally, it is for people who are willing to skip nights out and focus on your goals, okay? Like I've said already, trading is not easy, and it will never be easy, and it certainly won't be easy if you are going out every weekend with your friends to the pub trying to get girls who are 5 out of 10s, right? Your focus needs to be on the right stuff, and it's not gonna happen. You're not gonna be a good trader if your focus isn't on the right stuff. So focus up, guys, because you need to do this. You need to make sacrifices. You need to skip nights out and remove your bad friends and remove bad habits such as alcohol and smoking and all of this stuff that I used to do, right? You have to get rid of that and focus on your goals to be successful. Now, I also want to show you guys a few people who I've helped be able to become full-time traders to show you that this is possible for you as well, okay? Every single person who becomes a trader is not special. I am not special. The only thing that makes us special and become successful is that we actually work harder than the average person. Anybody can do this. The only thing that it's actually going to take to become that person who is successful is hard work, right? So as long as you're willing to work hard and actually put in the hours, just like a few of my students right here have done, then you too can also become successful. For example, Clever right here went from 0 to 500K funding in 4 months of learning my Asia range funding formula. Okay, Kimran right here, she is now over 200K funded, and she learned my strategy because she had some bad experience in the past from previous mentors, then came to me, took it seriously, and I think in a maybe 5 or 6 month period became funded with my strategy. Casper right here is over $500,000 funded. Now, he's absolutely killing it, okay? And that is just a few examples right here of the people who I've decided to show you who were killing it. But trust me, there's a lot more, such as Tony. He got 100K funded in his first month of joining me. We've also got Ivan. He's actually moving out to Thailand very, very soon because he's now 200K funded using my strategy. And he's decided to make the move to live in Thailand as well, just like I did 2 years ago when I became a successful trader. And Ashton right here, I'm showing you Ashton, not because he's a profitable trader, but because he was able to implement my strategy and get funded, or at least pass phase 1 of a funded account in his first month of joining my community, okay? He had no experience, he learned my strategy, and he's now on phase 2 of a 100K QT challenge, as you can see right here, okay? So that is just to show you that this is possible, and you can do this as well, right? You don't need to be some super intelligent, super intellectual person. Anybody watching this video, if you actually commit to trading, can do this as well, okay? Now, going on to the real education of this video. This is exactly what I would do if I had to start again to become funded and consistently profitable without losing any money, okay? First thing, let's get straight into it. You have to develop your habits and your lifestyle and your mindset. You need to lock in, bro. And I seriously mean lock in. Stop the distractions. Stop the dates with girls. Stop the smoking. Stop the drinking. Stop the nights out. Stop the pubs with your boys on the weekend. Stop all of the social interactions that you're doing, which are wasting time and stopping you from becoming a successful trader. Lock in, bro. Lock in, because if you just work hard, and I can't stress this enough, if you just actually work hard for a few months or maybe a year, you will change your life, okay? You will literally change your life. And I'm kind of shouting now because I'm trying to motivate some young guy watching this video, because I was in your exact situation 3 years ago. I was at university, depressed, hating my life, worried that this would be the situation I'm in for the rest of my life, right? Working as an accountant, making 50 grand a year, which is not good, by the way, right? I've had 50K months from trading, and that would have been my life, right? So I locked in, and that's what you need to do as well. So lock in, bro, right? And you can see here, point number 2, social exclusion. What I mean by this is you need to get rid of the fun. Stop going on nights out. If your friends are distracting you, remove them from your life. And I know this sounds harsh, but that is what you need to do. You have to make sacrifices. If that's your friends, if that's some of your family members, you need to tell them, look, I'm focusing on trading. You're distracting me. I have to move on for a bit of my time with you, etc. I have to move on. I have to exclude myself so that I can focus on what I want to do, which is become a trader, right? You need to make sacrifices. You have to be selfish. This is your life, and nobody is going to understand how much you want it other than yourself. So you need to exclude yourself from all of the noise, the distractions, okay? And actually focus on what's most important, which is learning how to become a profitable trader. Now, point number 3 here, okay? Really, really important point. You need a realistic time frame when you're going to be successful, okay? When I first started learning how to trade, guys, I said to myself, I'm going to be successful in the first 2 months. Did that happen? Absolutely not. No, that did not happen, because trading is not easy, right? In reality, what happened is I failed for months and months and months and months, and I got funded, I think 8 months in, got a little payout, and then a few months after that, I went from 0 to 500K funded. So it literally changed my life after a lot of failure, right? I went from, like I said, 0 to my first funded account maybe 7 or 8 months in, and then after that point, in the next few months, I went from my first funded to 500K funded, okay? The jump from my first funded to 500K funded was insane. Like, my life literally changed like that, but that's because I understood that I eventually understood that trading is not a get-rich-quick scheme, and you need to be realistic on when you'll see success, okay? So don't be thinking you're going to be successful in the first month, the second month, the third month. Give yourself at least a year to see success. And if it doesn't take a year, amazing. And if it takes longer than a year, so be it, right? It's not going to be quick, okay? It's going to take time, and every single person watching this video is going to have a different experience learning how to trade than me. You might pick it up quicker, you might pick it up slower, but I'll tell you what's not going to happen is you're not going to be successful if you quit, okay? So if you don't see success in X amount of time, don't worry, keep on going, and eventually it will come, okay? And finally, you can see right here, I said cut out bad habits, which I've kind of touched on already, but essentially, yes, you have to get rid of bad habits, bro, because if you don't, you're never going to be successful, right? Now, learning a strategy. This is so important to do. You need to learn one strategy in as much detail as you can and no other strategies, okay? You can see from point number 2, you don't need to watch thousands of YouTube videos understanding every single strategy in the world. So many people, including myself, think this is the way to become successful, but bro, it is not. You're gonna make the learning process so much longer because you're gonna have so much bad information in your head, and you're not gonna know what to listen to. You're gonna go into the charts every day, completely confused, and you're gonna have no idea about how to actually trade. So learn one strategy, whether that is my strategy or someone else's strategy, I couldn't care less. But for you watching this video, some words of advice is decide on one person to learn from and learn that strategy and absolutely nothing else. Forget all of the noise. Forget absolutely everything other than one person's strategy, okay? And then point number 3 right here is understand risk to reward ratio paired with a good success rate, okay? Having a good risk to reward but a terrible win rate means nothing. And on the opposite side of things, having a good success rate with a terrible risk to reward also means absolutely nothing. You need to have a good balance of both. For example, my strategy, I know for myself, I win about 75% of my trades with a 1 to 3 risk to reward on every single trade that I take. So I am a very profitable trader, and I can say that with confidence because on my YouTube, you can see this for yourself, right? And my community know this as well. For the last, I think 4 weeks, I've taken maybe 3 trades on a Thursday, and those trades have won. I think realistically, my win rate for the last month has been like 100%. I think in the last month, I think I've won 3 trades and had 1 break-even trade, which I don't count as a loss. So technically, it has been 100% win rate, okay? So I know my win rate over the year is very, very good. But when you pair that with a good risk to reward as well, you become an insanely good trader, and that's how you become profitable, right? So focus on both of them and understand both of them to a very good degree, and that's how you'll actually understand your strategy and understand what you personally need to become profitable. Because a lot of people think that it's all about having a crazy big risk to reward. But if your win rate is absolutely terrible, then that doesn't really matter because you're not going to be successful in the long run. Find a good balance, okay? And like I said, for me, that is about a 1 to 3 risk to reward with anywhere from a 50 to 60 to 70% win rate. You're going to be making a lot of money, right? You don't need a 100% win rate strategy, and you also don't need a crazy good risk to reward system, okay? Find a good balance of both. Now, also you can see right here at the bottom, just focus on education so far. Don't take any actual trades. You don't need to actually take trades yet. Just consume knowledge from one person's course or mentorship or from one person's YouTube free tutorial. Like I've said, one person though, okay? And just consume knowledge, consume on that one strategy in as much detail as you can, making the best notes you possibly can without actually taking any real trades. Because only when you get to step number 4 here, which I'll get into in a second, before I need to do step number 3, but only when you get into step number 4 is when you should be actually taking any real trades. Before that, you need to develop your psychology, okay? And psychology in trading, in case you don't know, is hands down one of the most important things to actually master, right? If you have bad psychology, if you've got bad discipline, if you've got no patience, if you're going onto the charts every day, forcing trades, then it doesn't matter how good your strategy is, you're not going to be successful at that strategy, okay? So psychology is the next thing you need to master. You need to have discipline, you need to have patience in your trading ability, and this can come through a variety of things, such as going to the gym, such as waking up early every single day, right? Such as having a good routine that you follow every single day, such as having a good diet that you follow every single day. You guys get the point. Having a good routine in your personal life will ultimately teach you the habits that you need to become a successful trader, because then your psychology is going to be rooted around your routine in your day-to-day life, and it's going to be a lot more easy for you to be successful on the charts because you've got discipline in your personal life. And this is what I say to every single person who I work with inside of my mentorship, is I say to them, you need to discipline yourself in your own life first before you can be disciplined on the charts. How can you expect to be disciplined on the charts if you have no discipline in your own life first? If you can't wake up at a certain time every single day and go to the gym every single day, or 4 times a week with a good routine and a good system to follow, what makes you think you can learn how to trade? Seriously, what makes you think that you can do that, okay? So you need discipline first, you need a good routine, and then that will follow through onto your patience and understanding of trading when you are actually taking these trades on the charts, okay? And then point number 2 is learn how to handle your emotions in the market. And this is super important as well, because when you are in a trade, you're going to feel emotions, bro. I'm telling you right now, you're going to want to enter crazy big amounts of money into these trades to make more money. You're going to want to hold the trades for longer than you should to make even more money. You're going to want to revenge trades. You're going to want to over leverage. You're going to want to do so much stuff, right? Your emotions are going to be so hard to control when you're in the market. But like I said, if you can master your daily routine first, that's going to massively help. Now, on to the next most important thing, backtesting, okay, and demo testing. This is where most people rush and fail, right? A lot of people skip this process entirely because they think after learning a strategy, they can just go onto the live charts and pass funded accounts. Sure, there's exceptions of this. There's exceptions to the rule, as always, but for the most part, you don't want to skip this phase, because this is how you're going to actually build the systems and get the reps in so that when you do go for these challenge accounts and funded accounts, you know exactly what to do, right? You're not just rushing and hoping for the best. You know exactly what you're looking for every day because you've tested it from your back testing and from your demo testing and also from your forward testing as well, which is also a super important thing to do, right? You need to get the reps in here, okay? 2 hours every single day, even on the weekends, is the absolute minimum that you should be putting into this, right? When I was at university, I had a 9-to-5 job, okay? I also was learning how to trade. I was also going to my lectures, not all of them. I skipped most of them, to be fair, but I was also basically managing 3 things at once, right? And I still had 2 hours of backtesting every single day to do. So there is no excuse. If you're watching this video working 9 to 5 and you think you can't trade, yes you can. If you're at university thinking you can't trade because you don't have the time, yes you can. Stop the excuses, bro, because you're never going to be successful if you can't commit to learning how to trade, okay? You have the time. Even if you're working 12-hour shifts a day, you have the time to learn how to trade. You just need to look at your schedule, find when you're free, and put the time in, because this is not going to be easy. No one said it's going to be easy, bro, right? But you need to actually look at your schedule and plan how you can make this work, because if you don't, no one's coming to save you, okay? So it's down to you to find the time to do the hard stuff, like the backtesting, like the journaling, like the demo testing, and the stuff that is required to actually be successful at this, okay? Because, like I've said here, this is what separates the 99% of people who fail to the 1% of people who actually succeed in trading. If you want to be the top 1%, you've got to do the backtesting, the demo testing, the journaling, the forward testing, the boring stuff that people don't want to do, okay, is how you will become the top 1%, okay? And this is why I've put this in this video, because it's super important. And I've also said here to journal your trades. Any trade that you take, once you are on the demo testing phase, has to be journaled on a Notion document, which, by the way, I might link below in the description. I probably won't, because I have a specific one for my inner circle members. But basically, you need a clear and very, very detailed document to fill out every single day that allows you to track your data and journal your trades so that you can actively see if you're progressing every single day on the charts. You need to get 1% better every day. This is what I say to my students. Try and improve 1% every single day, because there will be a thing you can improve on. Even for me, even though I've been trading for the last two and a half years profitably, there's still things I can improve on, right? I actually had a break-even trade the other day, which would have been a win, but I moved to break even slightly early. And as a result, this is actually quite funny. All of my community members made money except me, because I didn't have control of my emotions on that particular day, and I moved to break even too soon, and I could have made $8,000, but I didn't. So even me, right? There's still things I can learn. But the point is, if you journal, you can learn from your mistakes and actively become better on the charts for next time. And if you don't, then how are you going to learn from your mistakes? So journaling is super important. And you can see here from the final point, you might need to spend months on this phase, and you need to be okay with that, okay? This is not going to be easy, and you're going to need to spend a lot of time doing the boring stuff to become successful. But once you do, this is when you can now go for challenge accounts, okay? Now, I recommend, and what I say to all my members, in fact, I actually give them a totally free account to trade with, right? Is you want to start with a small account. I give my members a completely free 10K challenge to start with, because I'm very, very confident that they'll pass it if they've gone through the entire process beforehand, like I've just gone over here, okay? So go for a small 10K, right? Because once you've got the skills to pass a 10K, then in theory, you can now pass a 100K challenge because you've got the skills. And to pass a 10K is the exact same skills required to pass an 100K challenge. There is literally no difference. The only difference is you're increasing the risk on your trade when you are on a bigger account. But the skill and the strategy remains the exact same. So if you can pass a small account and get your confidence up, then guess what? You can also pass a bigger account as well, okay? And it's important to note that if you can get funded, you can get funded 100K, or sorry, if you can get funded 10K, you can get funded 100K, okay? Like I just kind of said already. But basically, perfect your skills on the smaller accounts so that when you go for the bigger accounts, you can do it as well, okay? And that's why I'd say to start with a small 10K challenge. And once you can pass that, that is when you can start to stack your funded accounts. This is when life gets fun, right? Once you pass that first 10K account, you now have the skills to transform your life, straight up, okay? If you can pass the 10K, you can pass an 100K, which means you can pass a 500K, which means you can pass a million, okay? Which means you can pass 2 million, which is kind of at the point that I'm at now, where I'm trying to scale to the multi-millions in funding, right? And the point is, this is when you're gonna really start to experience peak life, because now you've got the skills, right? And once you've put in the work beforehand and you've acquired the skills, these skills are not going anywhere, right? There's never gonna be a time now where I can't consistently, profitably make money unless like I have some sort of crazy injury or my family might go through something terrible, which God forbid happens, right? Then sure, that's gonna impact my emotions and I wouldn't be a successful trader for that period of time, because trading is really built on your psychology. But for the most part, as long as nothing goes wrong, once you know how to trade, then you can always make money and you can always stack more accounts. So this is kind of when life really starts to get crazy. And this is exactly how it went crazy for me. Like I said, I passed that first account, I think it was like a 10K, and then a few months later, I was 500K funded living in Thailand. Like it was absolutely insane. So this is when life really gets fun. So listen up guys, right? What you wanna do is you wanna risk 1 or 2% maximum on these trades once you're on a funded account. To be honest, it really should say 0.5 to 1% max, because 2% is on the higher end of things. And I think once you start risking 2% per trade, you really are going into risky territory here, because sure, you're gonna make quite a lot of money, but you also have the risk of blowing your accounts. So realistically, what I might do here is I might actually change this to say 0.5 to 1%, because that's more realistic, right? You know, you don't want to be over risky on these accounts. You want to keep it nice and you know, chilled, right? And I think once you start going for 2% risk, that is when you might start blowing accounts. So I'm going to make it 0.5 to 1% on these trades. That's why I tell my students is, you know, don't risk more than 1%, because you don't need to. If you're on a 100K account and you risk 1%, you get a 1 to 3, you made $3,000 in a day, right? You don't need to risk any more than that. 1% on a big enough account is life-changing money, okay? You don't need to risk any more than that. For example, Kimran right here, she recently has been getting some crazy payouts from ACG, because she's, I think, 200, 300K funded with ACG. And she doesn't over risk, but each one of her payouts, she might risk like, let's say 1. And if she gets a 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 and requests that payout, she's made $3,000, $4,000 from trading, which is insane, right? And this is how she's been able to quit her job, along with Clev, along with Casper, along with Tony. All of these guys, right, have literally changed their life because they know how to approach funded accounts in the correct way. And like I've said here, cash out your payouts, don't get greedy, and reinvest them into more accounts. Some really, really important advice here that I'll give anyone watching this video is, you know, invest your profits, okay? Reinvest them, because the end goal is not just to have 100K funded, but it's to have a million, 2 million, right? So that you've always got accounts that you can always trade on, so that you can always make money for the rest of your life. So reinvest your profits into more accounts, and then before you know it, you're gonna be 500K funded within a few months. Like literally, that's what happened with me, okay? So yeah, that is exactly what I'd recommend is the process that everyone should go through if you are trying to really master trading. Now, if you are really looking to take your trading seriously, in this part of the video, I'm going to explain to you my trading edge mastery in a circle, okay? This is how all of my students have been able to change their life, right? It's because I mentor them one-to-one for 6 months straight and teach them exactly what to do, okay? And you can see here, my goal is to help you make 10K or more every month by teaching you my Asia range funding formula strategy, develop your psychology and higher time frame understanding through daily live trading and one-to-one mentorship. That is what I do for my members. I'm with them throughout the entire journey, okay? And I make sure that they eventually see success. So if that's something you're interested in, then listen up, because this could change your life. The first thing I do is I make sure that you get rid of bad habits before even starting my course, before even learning my strategy in full detail. You have to develop good habits, okay? You have to get rid of bad ones. Stop smoking, stop drinking, stop having late nights out. Have a good daily routine, okay? Because this will carry over into your trading massively and make you a way better trader. And I help you develop this through my discipline course inside of my community, right? It teaches you the mindset of a successful trader, and also it's going to teach you a realistic expectation on how and when you'll be successful. Okay, so that's step number one. Step number two is going to be to master the strategy and psychology element of trading, right? Like I've kind of covered already, you need to also have psychology as well as strategy. You can't just have one or the other. You need to master both. And I've got a full guide on my exact strategy and psychology as well, okay? I cover everything that you could possibly need to learn how to trade. In addition to this, every single day I trade live with my community, and I always break down the trades that I take. And I also take them live on the call. So you literally have daily access to me. And that is probably one of the most important things that every single trader needs to have in order to become successful. If your mentor isn't trading live with you every day, it's probably because, first of all, he doesn't know how to trade. And second of all, because the thing you've paid for is just not worth it, right? I trade live every single day because I'm confident in my ability, and I also know that this is the best way to teach my students how to trade, because they literally watch me trade every single day and learn from me every single day live on the markets. I've also got a complete course on how to manage your risk, on psychology, how to overcome FOMO, overcome your trading issues, and my exact method to improve your discipline, right? And then step number three right here is passing the free 10K challenge that I give you when you join my inner circle, okay? Like I said, I give you this for free because I'm very confident that you will pass it, and I will help you pass it because of everything I do to make you a good trader, basically, right? And I do this by making sure you have the correct risk. Kind of, again, this should say 0.5 to 1% per risk. And then eventually you can start to stack funded accounts, get some big payouts under your name, and eventually gain 500K funding in 1 year, exactly like I was able to do, and exactly like Clev has been able to do as well. Clev is one of my students who did this in 4 months, and I've got an interview with him on my YouTube. It might actually be on my other YouTube channel, but I will be posting the same interview on this YouTube channel as well, just so that you guys can see it everywhere, because everybody should see this. It's literally insane. He changed his life in 4 months, okay? So the interview for that will probably be linked in the description if you want to check that out. And that's ultimately the end goal for you guys who join my community, is I will try my absolute best to change your life, right? And get 500K funding under your name, just like I did for myself. And this right here, by the way, is just some meetup that I did back in January for my community. I gave away $1 million of challenge accounts to them. You can see a few of the members here. It was like a crazy turnout of, I think, 70 members who showed up to my event. It was absolutely insane. I've got to say, like, hands down, I think I've got the best community in the world. The people here are absolute G's, and it's just a great community to be in. So yeah, I gave away $1 million of funded accounts, or sorry, challenge accounts there. And I also interviewed some of my students as well. You can see right here, this is Seb, this is Clev, this is Michael. Okay, all of these guys are doing very well with trading. Clev's the guy who's 500K funded, and I interviewed some of them, and I just got the honest feedback on my community and how they're finding everything so far, which is also something that you get access to if you do join my inner circle, is you get access to the meetups, access to the masterminds that I do. And that in itself is massively valuable too. Okay, so what's included, just to summarize everything, is my strategy and psychology modules, daily live trading plus breakdowns, mastery community, which is basically the community that you can see right here. You get access to amazing entrepreneurs and like-minded people who are also trying to learn how to trade just like you. You get group coaching calls. You get one-to-one access to me as well. You get a free 10K challenge account, and you get inner circle masterminds. And if this is interesting to you and you want to apply, the link will be below. However, there are limited spots every single month. So what I recommend doing is applying ASAP, because these spots will not be here forever.